Hello YouTube! Today's Throwback Thursday is a bit with a heavy heart because it's a crisis show report, the one from 2011. And as everyone knows, we haven't been organizing crisis for a few years now. I can't even say if it ever comes back, which would be a pity because all the other wargame shows came back after the COVID period. But well, as soon as I know something about that, I will share it, of course. But in 2011, it was still in the Kinepolis movie hall. It wasn't the greatest of venues, but it was big, it was relatively cheap, and unfortunately, it was also very hot, especially in the second part of the day. But like every time, it started Friday with the club starting to set up and unloading traders. In the Saturdays, I spent most in the buy and sell to help out there. Then we also did a buffet, and we also had big news for future editions, which back then I couldn't reveal, but it was that we were moving venue to the well-known Wagnasi from the last years, which was way bigger and way airier. So yeah. But have a look at this year's show, well, or that year's show actually, because as I said, no crisis this year either. So the TSA News Service presents to you Crisis, the Walkabout. So a view from the trenches means that we start in the back with the buy and sell. It has been the most successful one back then for all the shows. We had about 1,200 paying entrants, and of course it also meant that the buy and sell was turning like mad, because we all look for a good deal. But yeah. We can go through the rest of the halls. So we had traders in one of the many side halls here. There were, of course, games also. I'm just going through them in a very random fashion, so I didn't make a really detailed show report. But, well, you got eye candy, and that's all it's all about. And now, the guy that you see on that picture that's bent forward will always be one of my hobby heroes. He's Mike McVeigh. He still owes me a villa with a tennis court and a swimming pool for all the money I spend on Games Workshop and other things inspired by his Wood Elf Army way back. I think it was White Dwarf 160 or something. That kicked it off for me, though I ended up with Chaos Dwarfs. I did tell him as such. He apologized for it, so okay, there was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek for those taking it all too literally, but it's kind of special, really, getting a chat with people you admired. A bit of, well, hobby celebrity status. So, well, with the chat I had with him was on the Friday when it was unloading. It's calmer than the shows itself, so onto the show again. We even had some science fiction gaming. So that was always cool. It's full trust. There were a lot of traders with the trench system, was pretty neat. Here you have a view of the venue itself from one of the podia. The main hall was very crowded. I had the impression that people stayed longer than other years. Instead of doing the fast buy, they tended to give their eyes a feasting and probably their wallets a depression. So yeah, it was of course lots of books up for grabs. Like Osprey was a big thing back then. Now we can all look it up on the computers, but almost 15 years ago, if you wanted to research something, yep, Osprey was your friend. Busy trade stands, crowded corridors, a lot of money seemed to be changing hands, and I think quite a lot of people had serious loot stashes. I don't know how to explain it to the wife at home. I never did, I just smuggled it in. But of course, most of it all was about war games, the eye candy. We had like this science fiction apocalyptic game. There was, of course, American Civil War, always nice to see. There was some Renaissance battling. The French Indian Wars were present. I had the impression, well, back then that it was a bit of a trend. It came back very hard. I had a couple of games on display. A internet friend of mine, or how you should call it, Phil de Trey, he had a Papierslag, was made by Shield and Print. They always came with a very original game, and this was played with cut-out two-dimensional black and white models in terrain. So yeah, it was a special thing to see, and it gave a really great effect. So more games. The tennis game that I also featured in Convention Day Throwback Thursday was present. There was a World War II Italians, well, pre-Italians, the invasion of Ethiopia. The Vietnam game came to the Crisis show, so were all contacts we made at Convention Day to present the game at our club. So yeah, that was pretty neat to see familiar games again. To be honest, I never take notes on shows, so I have no idea who all presented all the games. Because especially on Crisis, I'm very busy. It's like a half-minute dash through the hall, snapping shots from all the games, and then, well, just see like this Viking Siege or some more science fiction gaming, Flames of War, more Napoleon, no, Renaissance gaming. That's a bit of a downside of being in a club and being a helping out member. So, well, basically it's all about pictures, put them on a blog and save them for the next generation, or when you suddenly realize you want to make video clips about it, revisit the old posts and put it on YouTube like I'm doing right now. So for the loot, I did forget back then quite a bit of stuff that I wanted, like from Black Cat. I did get the limited edition model. I've got a lot of nice stuff for my Chaos Dwarfs and some paints, so yeah. I didn't spend the big money, but yeah, well, it was a good loot all in all. So that's it for the 2011 Crisis Wargame show. I hope you enjoyed this little trip through memory lane. Well, like always with Throwback Thursdays, if you like, leave a comment, thumbs, everything, subscribe. Let's grow this channel like I can use it basically. But yeah, thanks for listening to me, and until next week for the next Throwback Thursday. Bye bye.